Hi, it's Samantha, and today I want to talk about a very important topic, though not always perceived as very attractive, but nonetheless very important and very intimate, which is the topic of shame. And what does shame really mean to us? For the most part, shame is our own feelings of not enoughness, of inadequacies, of not fitting in, not being received well by another or accepted because we feel that in some way we're not enough. That's our insecurities, our beliefs, which is a very tender topic because shame is something that touches all of us. None of us are immune to shame. And I want to talk about shame in a way that invites a dialogue, a conversation about shame. Not so much telling or saying what it is and what it isn't, but really sharing experiences and talking about what shame really looks like. You know, for the most part, shame has us holding back. It has us hiding, staying quiet when we want to speak up. It takes away from our lives in a lot of sense too, because we stop living out of fear of what another's going to think or going to say. And that corrodes our courage. And because we don't tap in, if we refuse to show up because we're afraid that we're going to be shamed. And another important point here is that we often think of shame as being, from being shamed by another. But the biggest shamer of all in your lives, in each of our lives, is ourselves. It is us. How many times you want to do something or you want to say something and you hold back? Why? What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Not good enough. It's not going to be good enough. I'm going to sound stupid. I'm going to sound silly. This is dumb. This is crazy. Who am I? Who am I to say this? Who am I to do this? But let me ask you something. Who are you not to do this? That's a big question. It's a very vulnerable question, and that's why I say it's very intimate, because shame and vulnerability are very closely linked. And it takes courage to show up in that way for yourself. And the more that we become vulnerable with ourselves in learning who we are for ourselves, the more we can build on that courage, because the more you get to know yourself, the more you learn that you're tapping into your self-worth, knowing that you are worthy, irrelevant of what another thinks or says of your project, your ideas, how you live, how you choose to live, but also yourself, your own thoughts and beliefs of yourself. You know, when you want to try something new, it's scary. When you want to pursue something that means so much to you, it's scary. But I ask you to ask yourself, what's the greatest cost? Risking doing what you want to do, even if you fail. It's not pass or fail, but regardless. Or not doing it at all. Because when we stay silent, we corrode our peace, piece by piece. And it's so easy to sit in the corner and think that it's okay, it doesn't matter. But that's a bold-faced lie, because it does matter. It does so matter, because you matter, your story matters. What you have to offer to the world matters. In whatever way that is. It doesn't matter. We're not measuring in, it's not about the bigger or the lesser, no. It's what matters to you. That's where the quality comes in. So the topic of shame is a very tender topic. And later today I will share a letter that I had written to myself. It's almost like an inner dialogue play that I had with my own shame. And shame only can be dissolved, not when we face it head on. You know, we often say, you know, dancing with the devil. Well, I dance with the devil in the sense that I dance with my own inner critic. Instead of facing it head on, it's like, no, come here. Let's sit together and let's have a conversation. What's going on here? Is this really true? And in that space, I am met with peace. Is it easy? Heck no. Hands down, it is not easy at all. But is it worth it? So is, because little by little, in taking part in that dialogue and getting to know my own self, for one, I'm honoring my worth, and I'm taking responsibility for my life and for my happiness. Because no matter the mess that's going on, whether it's inside my head, or whether it's the feelings that I'm having, or what's going around in my life, there is so much more. We are multifaceted beings. It's not that we're not one dimension, we're multidimensional. And that's a lot. So if instead of always thinking of, you know, compartmentalizing our lives, you know, in parts, it's not. We are so much more. So today I invite you to ask yourself, what does shame look like for you in your life? What does shame feel like for you? How does it come up? Where does it come up most often? And that's the perfect starting place to start having an intimate dialogue with yourself, which is very vulnerable, yes, which takes a lot of courage, yes, and a lot of bravery. But I can tell you, you are worth it. And bit by bit, you'll get a sense of this peace and freedom in that, because you're no longer running or hiding from it. You are sitting with it. And it may take many times. And there's always layers. It's like that onion, you know, you peel away the layers. But it's like meeting with your own soul, mind, heart, and body. Taking that time to really sit with you and see where shame comes up for you in your life, because we all feel shame. And the biggest shamers in our lives is we ourselves unto ourselves. Hands down. We can point the fingers, but hands down, we are our biggest shamers. That's why I say, if we invite ourselves into a dialogue with ourselves, we become aware. And in our own awareness, what happens is we take back our power. It's like we're not letting this noise in our head, you know what I mean, dictate our next move or our next steps or our next actions. We're actually having a conversation with it. And in that space, there's liberation. Not all at once. You know, life doesn't work like that. But at your own pace. So I invite you today to see where shame shows up for you and how does it feel. Because in that space, you are cultivating a deeper, more intimate relationship with yourself, which will enhance the quality of your life and the quality of your thoughts. Because not all thoughts and all things that come to our mind is true. So I ask yourself, is it true? Deepen the conversation, take it further, go within. Let me know how that feels, and I will share later today my letter to shame, which is very vulnerable, but I just want to kind of give you guys a viewing of what it sounds like and what it feels like. But I use humor, because I use humor in everything. I'm very playful. And I do that because that kind of takes the edge off for me. That's my way. I'm not saying that's not emotional, but let's walk towards dissolving the brick wall of shame. Let's build a bridge of resiliency through our courage, into our vulnerability, into our wanting to feel better and to understand our worth, because inherently we are worthy. We are so worthy. But none can convince us of that. We must learn that for ourselves. So with that, I send you all my love. Till next time. Bye.